So, check it out, America. YouTube, Facebook, all the people in Bangladesh. We're freestyling pretty much this Saturday. We've been on a 2-week hiatus due to scheduling conflicts, the country being shut down, vacations. Yeah, you know, the beef jerky shop is still boarded up.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
We're going to skip that topic because that's just nonsense. I don't even know where to go with it besides I wish everything was perfect, and it's just not. So, but what we are going to talk about today is COVID, Corona, and now that it's kind of past us, the theories or the conspiracies or the why and
are all starting to get loose.
Oh yeah. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Epstein. So Epstein this whole documentary came out on Netflix, and I've watched it. COVID conspiracies. And I know that I sent this to you earlier in the week to just kind of, let's see what's out there. Top 10, as you would call it, coronavirus. Hold on, let's do this. Jake, top 5 conspiracies for COVID, go.
It escaped from a Chinese lab.
Yep.
Our military took it over there and released it.
Okay.
Eating bats.
Okay.
This is a money opportunity for the United States. It was Trump did this.
Oh, Trump did it.
Yeah, Trump did it.
Okay. So we've got 5. So let's talk about the first one, the Wuhan lab, right?
Yeah, exactly. It escaped from this. They made, the Incredible Hulk and decided to let this loose on the whole world.
I heard that one, and it was right when it was coming out. And you know what the funny part was? You ever play the video game Resident Evil?
Yes.
They were floating around the Resident Evil thing because apparently there is a company that's like 3 or 4 hours away that has the same Umbrella logo, but it's in blue and white and not red and white.
Not red and white.
But they tied that together, so
of course, naturally.
And of course, I had to. Everyone's emotionally nuts.
If you're going to release something, the whole point of it is to not jack up your own people.
Yeah, exactly right.
Right? Because you're kind of defeating the purpose unless that's plausible deniability. But I don't know.
Beats the shit out of me.
I don't know. It's just.
So how do you do that, right? You're at a lab. And I'm working on this stuff, and I know it's potentially going to, it's super highly, and it's a level 5 lab, which apparently I'm very limited on knowledge there, but that's like the highest you can get.
Yeah, that's where they're like dealing with mass infectious diseases, and you know what I mean, cures for really, really bad things that we probably still don't even know exist.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that out of all the things they could have released, they released something like the common flu?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, out of everything you guys have in that joint, this is what you decided to go, well, we're going to get everyone now. Here you go. Good luck.
It fits in, right? China has this big population issue. So, hey, why don't we release this? And we're going to just, it targets 60-plus-year-olds, right?
It's a kind of a nice way of just saying we're going to kind of thin the herd.
Yeah, okay. Hi, Munchkin. How are you? Thank you for the cracker. Nom, nom, nom. What do you think? You think that is? What do you think the most realistic one is out of all of them?
The eating of bats or snakes or some crazy animal. I've seen their open air markets that they have over there, and they have fish here, and then rice here, and then in this one there's these crazy things that I don't even know what they are that they're selling. So that, I'm not saying that that's what it is, but what I'm saying, if any of them make any kind of I could see that happening, it's that, I think. Out of the conspiracy theories, that's the only one that I would consider to be possibly plausible, because you have somebody who's selling fish and rice, and then all of a sudden they also are selling snakes and tiger dong or whatever. You know what I mean? So that kind of makes a little bit more sense than everything else, but it's still a very far-fetched idea in an open-air market. Okay.
I think science says that this is just an evolution of, so COVID apparently is the virus from an animal virus that has mutated.
And there's been multiple COVIDs before. This is just the latest strain of it. So it's not that this is something completely fresh that we've never discovered before.
Yep.
This has happened before. It came from, I think one of them came from the Middle East somewhere. They do mutate. We know that from the common flu, that things mutate and they get worse as we discover, ways to fight against them.
The second one?
Our U.S. military brought it over there and gave it to them.
So our military went to China and then went to this Wuhan level 5 laboratory area that they have. Is that official? Have they officially said that is where it came from? I think it was. Okay.
Yeah, that's where this strain. That's where it came from.
Oh, there's multiple strains.
Yeah,
now,
there's multiple strains of it. We've had strains in the past. Like I said, one of them came from the Middle East. So this is not something that is completely fresh. This is something that has been around. It's just, it has mutated. Just like the common flu, every year, it seems to do a little twist or turn, and you know what I mean?
Gets a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. You tell me our U.S. military took it over there and dropped it off?
And then we didn't have the antivirus before we went over there?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
It sounds like a great plan.
Oh man! All right, so we've got the Wuhan, the lab. We've got the eating of bats. I could see a bunch of Chinese people eating bats.
When you're out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have, you're going to eat what's there.
Whatever you want.
Right? You eat what's out there. I get that. But
but Wuhan itself is a developed.
Yeah, no, it is
super developed over there. It's not third world country.
There's not much. There can't be much meat on those things to begin with. So that seems like
you gotta be like crunching the head off.
Yeah, you just no.
We should definitely find somebody that'll eat a bat on camera for us.
That seems like a bold move to do, if I could tell you.
Let's see if he gets coronavirus or COVID-19.
Torch the thing and then just
Yeah. All right, so we've got the Wuhan lab, we've got the bats, we've got the military. There were two more.
Yeah, one of them was just like, this is a big hoax to make a bunch of money.
Well, that apparently is working, right?
Well, if you're making masks.
Well, if you're making masks, or it's from the
or
business.
Hand sanitizer,
masks.
Other than those two, nobody's making a whole bunch of money off of this.
Say, the beef market is definitely gouging people. Everyone's trying to gouge people.
I get that, but I don't know if that's more just a opportunistic market where you're like, well, people are panicking, people want to stock up on things. So if you're in the toilet paper industry, or if you're in the
toilet paper probably made a shitload of money. Amazon probably made a crap load. Anything direct online.
Oh, they're shutting down everybody.
I heard,
Amazon's killing everybody. You're not competing with Amazon, especially right now. No one wants to go out in public, and they deliver everything to your front door.
Yeah. I think overall, like here in California, it's you can kind of feel like it's getting. I drove by the other day and I saw that everyone, the Think Prime was open. Yeah. They were just like, screw it, no masks, let's go.
That's what I love. I drove by Torrance Crossroads, and I think it was Kayukaku, or one of those restaurants where you cook your own stuff.
Kayukaku?
Which drives me insane.
Bukakiyuku?
Like, I'm not going to a restaurant and paying to cook my own stuff. That's why I'm going to a restaurant. But anyways, there was like 50 people sitting out there and none of them had masks on. They didn't give a Frenchman's about it. And I'm like, this is amazing.
I'm with you. I went to Paso 2 weeks ago, went into the grocery store, and I had my mask in my pocket because that's what I'm used to. Everyone out there is just like, there's no fucking mask going on.
Yeah, if you put a mask on, someone's going to come up and talk to you. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude, what's happening?
What's wrong
here?
with you?
I was shocked. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's normal up here.
I think just in certain states, they are a little more...
the metropolitan areas, probably. Well, here, with all this mask thing, and now they've got all these different rumors about, like, the World Health Organization guy came out and said, oh, it doesn't spread if you're asymptomatic.
Right.
But the funny part is, right, all the doctors at the hospitals treat these patients. And apparently the mask is it's fine. It does the trick.
Right.
So... Still can't. The gloves, I still can't get with the gloves.
I just don't know what if you're gonna make it a blanket statement, have some proof behind it. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna sit there and say that the masks work, then everyone needs to say the masks work. Or if you're gonna say the masks don't work, then masks don't work. But when you have both sides going, these work or no, they're full of it, they
We should
don't
just
work.
start cracking jokes so that way we've got the laughter in the
I mean,
background here. Hey Jake, show me your best mask face. I get it if you're older and you've got health conditions and that you're scared shitless. I think the younger people or people that do, I don't know, they feel that they're healthy, I don't think they care as much.
I love at Home Depot how they have that plastic
Oh, the shield and customer service shield?
right, but you have to walk around the shield
To scan the card?
To scan your card, so you're 2 feet away from the, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
That, let's talk about how
That drives me nuts. I'm like, you guys are pissing in the wind and wondering why you're getting wet.
Exactly.
Like, what are you
dude.
doing here? I get it if you want the masking, if you're gonna take my card underneath the plastic shield.
Yeah.
But when you sit there and then go, oh, come over here and scan your card. What is this for? Why the barricade?
Yeah, the best. Hold on, and then they put the plastic wrapper on the card thing.
That they never change. So everyone's touching the same thing.
Yeah, it's not like they sanitize it.
No,
after,
I noticed that too. I'm like, you put saran wrap over the numbers,
But why? It's
nobody
useless.
changes this. So if
Or
I touch it
sanitizes
and
it.
you touch it and everyone else touches it, what are we accomplishing here?
Nothing. More pissing in the wind.
Who are you making feel comfortable about this? Or that's their way of going, well, we're trying to do our part.
That's definitely a stupid one right there. Like the saran wrap thing, the gloves thing. I am still waiting for someone to tell me the help that it gives you there. Don't know about that one.
No.
We talked about that like the last time we did this.
Yeah,
and it's just
it-
like stupid.
It's a false sense of security because then you get back in your car and I guarantee you
You touch your steering wheel.
Yeah, I
and then you
guarantee
take your
you
gloves off and touch the
the
steering
majority
wheel
of
again.
people don't know how to properly take gloves off to where it would help you. So you get in your car with these gloves and you're touching your seatbelt and your steering wheel and everything else. And then when you get home, you take your gloves off and throw them out. But everything in your vehicle's already been infected, so to speak. Just wash your damn hands. How about that? How about you wash your hands and call it a day? It would be a lot better.
Man, here's my end of my last statement on this is obviously everyone was freaked out, right?
Yeah.
So they got into this whole crazy situation and people didn't put any thought into it, right? They're just making decisions. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And now when you're looking back, it's like you said, the blast shield.
Yeah.
And then I walk out of the blast shield and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, that was freaking useless.
You know, fear is a hell of a lot more dangerous than anger or rage.
It's the most.
It is the most.
It's the driver. That's
it
a
is
crazy
the
emotion.
Craziest thing you could do, because at least if you're angry or you're enraged at someone, there's a vision there where it's this person or that thing. When you're scared, there's
Everything.
you start manifesting, and then all of a sudden it's, oh well, my neighbors need to stay away from my house, and the mailman touched my mailbox and I touched the mailbox, and oh gee, come on, get out of my face with all of that.
So listen, COVID, yeah, lots of conspiracy theories. Still, no one knows really what has happened. So that's the real question, right?
That's what bothers everybody, I think. Is
They don't know.
I think that there's a lot of people who, they're going to tell us at one point, but subconsciously they know that they're never going to tell us.
They know this is bullshit.
Yes.
Everyone knows this is
So
bullshit right
it's-
now.
Come on. It's like Area 51.
Yeah. We know something is going on, but we don't really know
But you
what.
don't really know.
Yeah.
It's just all a bunch of hypothetics and theories and whatnots on it. That's all it is.
Yeah, I feel you. And listen, yeah, people are dying, but then again, people are dying from the flu too. And then with all the numbers that they're reporting, maybe things change when you have someone that's been affected by it, right? But then, the problem becomes even all the tests that they give you are,
Right.
oh, we don't know if they're really any good.
Yeah, are the tests good? That's the other thing. Here, take this test. Well, we found out that the tests don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, and some of them work and some of them don't. And you're like, well,
None of this, when you start adding it up, is like really
no,
making
none
a
of it
ton of
makes
sense
any
at all.
None of it makes any sense.
And they change the story, and then this thing is closed, and then this thing is not closed. So when the media is everything is this on the media, there's something else happening that they don't want you
100%.
to know about. They want to distract.
Everyone's going, look it, but they're doing what they're doing over here.
Houdini.
Yes. I mean, there's no other way of. Like when you go into the restaurant, you have to walk into the restaurant with a mask on. But when I sit down at my table,
I take my mask off.
take my mask off to eat. Now you're recirculating air in there. So what the hell are we doing here? You're recirculating air. As soon as I take this mask off, according to those who say the masks work, everyone in there is now getting whatever we're all breathing. So, you know what I
Listen
mean?
in the wind, man.
Like,
Listen in the wind.
I don't know.
Listen, we're going to cut it there on this friggin' COVID thing. Basically, end of story is what's really going on in the background. We went through this conspiracy theory thing because we have this gut feeling that's like, it doesn't add up, right? Do all these things. I get it.
None of it does.
We're trying to be healthy and protective and be safe. But then the counter story to it, if you look at the other side, it's like, oh, all these people are dying. It's like, sure, but these are only the people that are being reported. There's a specific age group. There's all these. There's a counter side argument to the whole thing, and you have two choices: you believe it, you don't, and then there's no truth out there, and no one really knows anything. It's honestly like a big poof. This is happening. We're going to shut down the country for 3 months.
No part of anything that they've said has come out and been like, see, we told you so.
No, exactly nothing. Oh,
nothing.
The mercy and the comfort, the boats, because it's going to go crazy.
Right.
Nothing happened.
Nothing.
The boats were empty, and then they sent them home.
Right. I guess the big question is, where do we go from here? Because then as a country, you sit there and go, well, after this, you kind of showed me your hand. Do I ever believe anything you have to say again?
Yeah, that's a very true thing.
You know what I mean? Like where do we go from here? Because the next time something happens and you cry wolf,
people are going to be like, yeah, just like
right.
this
So
or just like that.
Hopefully nothing bad actually does happen, because all of the people who are like, this is just going to be like the Spanish flu that wiped out a crap ton of people. Yeah, no, nowhere near that.
No, that's what they were planning on. They were thinking this is going to just devastate us.
Right, and it didn't.
No, it didn't.
It didn't. So all it devastated was the economy.
Apparently in stimulus packages, so there's been over like $6 trillion added into the economy. So that means inflation is coming.
Oh, 100%. Guaranteed. Now all of a sudden a gallon of milk's going to cost you $10.
Being on the business side of things, I go, all right, economy. I've just pumped $6 trillion into it. Two things trigger my head. Either one, sure, our national deficit goes up, inflation's going to go up, but do you have to do this to keep the system going, right? Think about it like a gasoline engine. The whole economy runs on debt. I know that this economy is going to tank to shit if we don't figure out a way to inject a mass amount of money to keep that thing going.
Print a bunch more money, throw it into circulation, and now all of a sudden everyone else is going to pay for it.
Sure. Because guess who got the most money on all this? Not you.
No.
Not me. All the guys at the top with the giant corporations and I need bailouts and the airlines and this and this.
100%.
And listen, I get it. The Deltas and the people of the world over there.
Yeah, but are they really hurting? When it costs me, I bring a backpack full of clothes, because that's what the majority of men do when we go on vacations. I bring a backpack with me.
Fuck suitcases.
I don't believe in them. I can't stand them.
So I heard a rumor that the airlines, to try to get people flying again, are removing the middle seat.
Look, as a big guy, I love it. Okay? I'm on board with that. I do everything I can to get the aisle seat. Because on the way back from our honeymoon, we went to the Dominican. On the way back, I had the window seat. In the aisle, there was like a 5'5", 120-pound man soaking wet that had all this room to do jumping jacks and shit in his chair. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there like this, and just all I could think about is how I want to just trying to jam more cattle into the truck.
Spirit Airlines?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, listen, bud, someone's going to lose their mind in this metal tube, especially when it's somebody my size who's sitting in the flipping window. Like, I don't care about what's outside. I really don't. Well, I'm not seeing anything anyways. I'm looking at clouds and sky and open water. Amazing, beautiful view. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'd way rather have room than look out the window. It's not like we're on a helicopter ride. We're in a plane, 30,000 feet. Like, oh, I always seen that in books, and I wanted to see what it looked like in real life, and here it is. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the sky view. Listen, unless you're looking at the Great Wall of China or something, where it's like, oh, but then you see it once, and you're like, okay, got 13 seconds of it, I'm good.
Yeah. Or you fly by the mountain. You're like, oh, everyone out the right side of the plane there's a mountain. And you're like, that's amazing. There's a mountain.
But if you saw a UFO.
So
like
that's the
flying
one
object.
time that you're ecstatic that you have the window seat.
Yes.
The rest of the time, I want the aisle seat. After all years of flying, between football and everything, I figured out there's a little latch under there that no one really knows about that you can lift up the armrest. So then I spread out into the aisle, and I'm okay with them bashing.
Oh,
on it.
really?
Oh, yeah.
So the that's not permanent.
No, sir. No, sir. That's a little known secret. There's a little latch under where the arm is. You have your armrest that sits here, and then there's the metal part underneath. There's a little latch there that if you lift that,
then you can do one of these.
Yes, sir.
I was,
Get all the way out into the aisle. And then they come by, excuse me, sir, we got the beverage cart. Thank you. No, I'll move it for 5 seconds, and I'm going right back out there in the aisle.
I know you get the leg room.
Yes,
Man,
100%.
I'm telling you, like the knee thing, man.
I get asked that constantly when I'm, how did you do that? Like, shh. Exactly.
There you go. Tidbit of information, America.
Yeah.
You can actually move up the aisle seat arm. So now you can little stretch out. You're not, stuck. If you got a bigger hip waist area, can I kind of like fold over?
Trust me, when you start putting 55 football players on one
Oh,
plane,
they figure shit out, don't they?
you figure it out real quick. Otherwise, shit's going to get broken and it's going to get moved. You know what I mean? Like, look, this is either going to move or I'm going to move it.
That, that brings up, you brought up earlier that, the whole, I don't bring luggage.
No. For what? Look, if I'm going to be somewhere for 2 weeks, I figure that if I bring maximum of 5 to 7 pairs of underwear, I'm safe.
I'd go with like 3. Well, okay, 5 to 7 is very safe, yes.
Right? I'm very safe in that aspect. And everyone's like, well, no, you need to bring one for every... Listen, I'm not going to a third world country anywhere. And
even in the third world country, you could wash it.
There's streams.
There's places to wash shit.
There's rivers, right? Wash it just like the locals do.
Yep.
Right? So I'm not concerned about it. I bring those 5 to 7 pairs. I always go home with clothes that I did not even wear. Now, my wife, on the other hand, she's got 2 suitcases, and I have to carry her third one because you never know. Well, what happens if we do this? And what happens?
As guys, I kind of feel that, listen, just give me 2 pairs of clothes, and I'm good.
Yes.
1 pair to wear every day, and then I switch it out, and I wash the other one, I'm good.
When we go to Washington and it's cold, I will bring 1 pair of jeans for 10 to 14 days.
Yes.
1 pair,
Yeah.
and probably 2 pairs of shorts, and I'm done. And I won't wear one of those pairs, but it's there just in case, so that way,
Just in case.
yeah, you know what I mean?
No, I agree with you. So we went to Peru with my wife, and she's like, oh, I'm like, no, backpack only. And I got her, we went for 2 weeks, and I had a little, like the little 50-liter military, little skinny one. And between both of us, she had one, I had one, we fit all our stuff in there. And I showed her at that point, look, honey, you don't need all this crap. You literally 3 outfits
But if
for
it
2
makes
weeks.
too much sense, you can't do it. You know what I mean?
I am lucky because my wife will come to common sense terms about that kind of
Oh.
stuff. But then again, I went to Paso for 4 days, and I had
Yeah.
the biggest suitcase in the world.
Like when
with
I
me.
went back we drove for my birthday back up to Humboldt to go see my college, right? Rented an Explorer because my wife's been saying she wants an Explorer. Rented one. Myself, my wife, at the time my daughter was 6 months old. I had no back window.
Oh, because it was just
the
packed.
amount of shit back there.
I know what you mean.
Okay.
I've been there.
And I'm like, we went for I think 5 days. If you do, then guess I'll take you to the store and I'll buy you a pair of clothes. Who cares?
Yes, there are stores.
There's stores.
credit cards work.
Yeah, I'm not talking about traveling up Everest here. You know what I mean? Like there's stores. They have electricity there.
The women, the overpacking with the multiple shoes, the multiple outfits, and then the guys.
I take 1 pair of shoes and 1 pair of sandals. Normally I wear sandals on the airplane, and I have a pair of shoes that's stuck in my bag.
No, listen, simple and light, dude. Simple is key. Simple is key. And even on business trips, right? All you need is the suit, which you can bring in the suit,
Right.
and just a pair of clothes that are outside of it.
Yeah.
You can be done very
I
quickly.
bring a pair of basketball shorts to sleep in.
And then you don't have to pay the $40 luggage fee.
That's what I'm getting at when I say who's really hurting. Like I don't feel too bad for them when I had to pay 40 or 50 bucks to stick a piece of luggage in there.
Yeah.
And when my wife,
But they used to do it for free all the time.
yeah, constantly was for free. All of a sudden now, because we're limited to space. No, gas
Bullshit.
is going up, and you need a way to cover your means there, and you want to make some more money.
Yeah,
Because ticket prices rose when gas rose, so that theory goes out the window. So you just want to make money.
Yep.
Just say that. I'd feel better about it if you just told me, listen, we're going to bend you over here. And
Spirit Airlines does tell you.
Take it or you don't. What do you want to do?
Yeah, fly or don't fly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm on the track, so wife pregnant. Honestly, I'm okay if I don't ever have to fly again. If I just drove wherever I needed to go, I'd just take a few extra days out of it.
I don't mind driving. I really don't. I've driven by myself up to 15 hours at a time.
Yes, men can do that. No problem.
Listen, just you go in the back seat. Why don't you take a nap with the baby? I'll get a coffee and I'm gonna drive.
Done.
I'm fine with that. 100% fine with it. Does not bother me. Well, but do you know how much faster we get there if we got in a plane?
Well, see, that's not true, right? For instance,
not like when you go to Vegas.
Perfect example. Los Angeles to Vegas is what, an hour flight?
Yeah, but you have to.
Exactly. Right? So step one, I got to get to the airport. So
an hour and a half early.
Okay, so I got 45 minutes of driving to the airport.
Yep.
Now I'm there an hour and a half early, so now I'm at 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Right, plus your hour flight.
Then I'm at 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Then waiting for your luggage.
Okay, so now you're at 4 hours and 15 minutes.
And then waiting for your rental car.
Oh, and then you're at 5.5 hours, easy.
Which you're already there driving.
Exactly, and you've got your own wheels.
Yep.
You can stop and do. You've got freedom if you need it. You're not locked. I agree. If it's under an 8 hour.
Oh, drive.
Because you got
anything
at least 5 hours.
Anything over 8 to 10 hours. I understand the flying. If you're going to the East Coast, fly.
Yes, unless you want to take a whole trip and stop.
It's going to take you 3 days to get there.
Yep.
Okay, but outside of that,
it makes more sense. Like for instance, if you want to go from Los Angeles to Tahoe. You drive. I'm a driver.
I don't think I've ever flown to Tahoe, to be honest. I've been there at least a dozen times. I've never once flown there.
We flew there once and then realized it's the same amount of time.
Yeah.
It's literally the same amount of time. So, and even with the kid, I think it's easier to have your kid in the car.
Oh.
Trying to deal with them at an airport. Mommy this, mommy that, daddy this, daddy that.
And you're stuck in a metal tube with them and they can't go anywhere.
Oh, God. And they're screaming and crying, and they got all the kids.
Now you have that kid who's firing up every other kid in the plane.
You ever notice how they put all the kids in the back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys all go in the back.
You know what's really cool? So before we had the kid, apparently they thought we were the party couple. So whenever we got to the back and the waitress would come by, I'm like, oh, here's a beer. Oh, here, you want some of that? We would get free shit all the time.
Yeah.
So, and I think that comes down to, do the waitresses think you're cool and do they like you? Or the stewardesses, right? Stewardesses? Yeah, stewards or stewardesses.
Is it that or is it flight attendant? I always get confused on which one it is.
I guess flight attendants work too, but I would say...
I don't know what the proper name.
Huh.
When in Rome.
America.
Yeah, exactly. I think what they should do is just make the back half of the plane, like in church, when they have all those like bulletproof windows, the soundproof area. Like, just make the back half of the plane.
Well, that actually is a brilliant idea.
Why
don't they have, like,
I have no idea.
Hey, you're a kid, and families, we put you in the back, we shut this thing.
Because if it makes too much sense, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, too much sense, forget about it. So we kind of talked about, we have COVID conspiracies, which actually, I don't even know how that snowballed into airplanes and airplane travel, but I 100% agree with you. Under 8 to 10 hours, definitely drive.
Yeah.
Backpack,
it's all
best
you need.
way to go. Best way to go.
All
and then,
you need.
Now they have those services where if you do have to travel with stuff, you can just ship it to your destination.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be
way easier.
That way you don't have to wait and do all that crap at the airport.
Or take the chance of getting it lost.
Oh, I had that happen one time to me.
Did you get it back?
Yeah, but it wasn't
2 weeks later.
It wasn't even that I really minded. The only thing I was pissed off about is I had to go to the store and buy more beard stuff that on an off-brand that I didn't really know. That was the only thing that bothered me about the whole situation.
Speaking of beards.
Yeah, it's coming in nice.
I know. I was like, hey, wait, so I've got 3 months into it now?
You start combing that thing.
I do comb it now. I'm combing it down. And then what I kind of like is I can do the out. So I get it to like poof and go in that direction.
If you really want to get crazy with it, you get one of the little thin combs and you pick it while you're blow drying it, and it'll just afro on you.
Dude, you've got more techniques than I even know
Trust me,
about.
but
Like,
look, I've had this for a minute now. This is not my first barbecue.
so I started doing the posts, right, for our social media people out there. So, you can post things. So I took one. I was like, oh, wow, the beard's coming in nicely, because I was watching the first episode. We talked about beards. And I'm like, okay, so now I'll put the beard out there. But I think I got a good, 2 inches now.
Yeah, you're good. You're going good.
Yeah. So
You're going to get to the point where pretty soon where you're going to need to start trimming the sides.
Oh, don't worry. I've started waking up and I'm like chewing on stuff.
Oh.
I got hair in my mouth.
Wait
I'm
until
like,
you wake up and the bottom of your beard is across your entire face. And you're like, you're dreaming that you can't really breathe all that well. And you're like, what's going on? And then you wake up and you're like, oh,
you're suffocating on your
Yeah.
own beard.
yeah, that's when I know it's time for me to trim mine.
Oh, dude. Well, I gotta say, I'm kind of.
Yeah.
I was thinking we could do an episode, because I had this theory that I might shave it, and then I was like,
Why?
well, then I had this theory, right? And I was like, why? This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You go in the mirror, like, oh, cool. And
You want to know why men grow beards?
why do men grow beards, Jake?
Because we can.
Ha ha! Ding, 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 winner. There was a comment in the crowd. Not all of us can. Very cool. I mean, there are some dudes that cannot grow beards. I get it.
Just let it grow.
I think over time, if you don't, I could never get on one side, it would never get as puffy. But as I let it grow, there's a lot of patience. This is why I think that women should really be interested in men who grow beards, because there's a lot of patience and care that goes into it. It's not just. Oh yeah.
But I know if I just stick with it, that this is going to come out to majestic.
That's like a key to life.
Yeah.
Stick with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Stick with it. I agree with you. Stick with it. And that's like a rule of thumb for almost everything, right?
Yeah.
Like Michael Phelps. If he didn't stick with it, he wouldn't be the gold champion.
Right. I mean,
Pretty much any of these guys.
It's any of them.
Any of them.
If
They
you-
stuck to it.
If you just start shaving, then
There you go, America. That's the plan. Stick to it. So I watched the Epstein Files, or wherever the Netflix documentary Epstein. And
he's an interesting fella.
Jesus Christ. Okay, first of all, I get it. You're a rich billionaire. You get a bunch of hookers. Cool. All right, do your thing.
But why can't you just stick with the legal age hookers? Is my question.
Geez. And this goes back to, being dads that raised girls.
Yeah, and
I mean, literally, you're it's honestly, it's painful to think, especially when you're a 50, 60-year-old dude. I mean, come on.
yeah,
Come the fuck on.
I have zero tolerance.
I'm surprised that, more and more, you think about this, why didn't any of these dads go after? And then I get it, because in the video it shows he preyed on pretty much a lot of the people that didn't have, or the kids, or the younger girls that didn't have that support system.
But still, it's as a man, you know the difference, right?
Yes,
As a
absolutely.
man. And the older you get, the more that is. Let me explain myself here. When you're 18, a 17-year-old girl, okay, that makes sense, right?
Yes, listen, you're in that same
Right, you're in that
stupidity
kind
age.
of mentality. When you're 25, 17 is not so bueno.
No, because that's
Right.
You're gonna get in trouble, and
Right, and then when you are 40, dropping down to 15, or 50, dropping down to 15.
that's where you need to be castrated.
Yes, I have a very difficult time with that. It's
honestly mind-blowing that went away. Listen, if you watch the Epstein stuff on TV, watch this Netflix thing,
it disappears.
and it is, and you're a billionaire, and all of a sudden, now you got the federal government, which you can
Yep.
go into the conspiracy theories here, which I would love to talk about, and I only want to talk about one specific thing, which is Bill Clinton, right? Bill Clinton was Epstein's buddy. They were buddies. They were
Monica.
Yeah, and well, there you go, right? When there's smoke, there's fire. Now you've got Monica. Now you add Epstein to it, and then when all this time frame stuff was going down, guess who was in political power?
Yeah.
All right, and the Bill Clinton comment, they have him. Oh, I've never been to the island. They pulled the flight logs from the plane as
and
passengers
showed.
26 times.
Yeah.
26 times. And listen, I know you guys have common sense out there listening, but when you smell bullshit, It is bullshit. And then I went into further, looking at this thing. Oh, Epstein all of a sudden died, and everybody said, like, the coroner and all these people, like, it's almost impossible how his jaw was broken or his neck and the fractures.
Who cares?
Well, here's the part that you care about, right? So they're saying he committed suicide. But the coroner said, listen, the way that this is broken, 1 in a million, and this is not happening from someone leaning on their thing and choking out. It was like somebody's behind that guy, stepping on his back, choking the shit. Oh, and all the cameras are off at that time. Accidentally.
Well, just tell everyone, look, someone strangled him.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
That'd be a better story.
You know what I mean?
That'd be a better
well,
story.
Here's the deal. Someone went in, shut off all the cameras, and they strangled him.
Yep. But you know why they strangled him? Because of his guest list.
Well, yeah. All of a sudden, it was going to come out that, well, boom, 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 all these people have gone to Pervert Island.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't watched.
You're gonna have to watch it because listen, there's a lot of sad stuff in there, and you almost want to turn it off. It's like the Michael Jackson story, where it's like, dude, I don't want to listen to this. But if you get through that part, you just fast forward, subtitles.
I don't care what the situation is. There's no excuse for messing around with little girls.
No, that's completely wrong. But I don't even want to talk. I just want to talk about the Epstein part where. Now he's got all these co-conspirators, right?
Oh,
they've got all these co-conspirators.
There's a lot of money to you know what I mean?
And it all comes down to the money, right?
Yeah, well, of course.
All comes down to the money.
Of course. What else would it come down to in that world?
That's it. Greedy little fuckers.
Yeah.
Greedy little fuckers. The 100 million's not enough. I need 500 million.
Exactly.
So, listen, I will be happy with 100 million. And then I guess when you have 100 million, you probably want 500 million, and that's, humanity. I don't want 1 beer, I want 5 beers. After I've had 5 beers, I need 10 beers.
Right. It's the same principle. It goes to everything.
Jake, I'm telling you, watch it. We'll talk about it on one of these other ones, but my only comment about the whole Epstein thing is one thing. Bill Clinton and have you heard of the Clinton body count?
Vaguely.
All right, research it. We'll talk about it next time. But basically, conspiracy theory that the Clintons are hitmen, and they've got the Clinton. They're dirty fuckers. That's what it comes down to. And back to the story of the media reporting on COVID, reporting on riots, reporting on everything that's going wild. Guess what's happening in the background?
Yeah, what they're not reporting on.
Do you know that Hillary Clinton has to now testify before
I heard
Congress?
That.
And
I heard that.
They threw out her appeal.
Yeah, but hasn't been mentioned
at all.
I don't think I've seen that at all.
Zero. And apparently on Barack Obama's thing, they subpoenaed, I think, 30-some people out of the administration for, I don't even know what Obamagate is. But apparently there's some whole thing going on here. And I saw a post, so I don't even know if this is completely legitimate. So check your facts before saying, but I saw it and I haven't followed up on it, but we'll talk about it. Long story short, something else is going on. And I also heard that China and India are at war. Like they are literally, China and India are having a battle over grounds, which is also not being discussed. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm going to follow up, but same thing. The rumors fly and we'll see.
I'd be interested to see what they're fighting over.
Land and resources.
Yeah, but what resources are coming out of
fucking India?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to look at what India provides, but I don't think they're a big oil country. But I guarantee you they have minerals. They have to have. If I'm China, what do I want? I want metals. And India is a big iron producer.
I'd be interested to see what they're actually really producing out there.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I want to look into that.
I'll get some information on why the that would have been happening.
Yeah.
All right, so next, let's go into some other topics here. So we talked about COVID, we talked about our Epstein guys. We'll come back to Epstein because this is just out of control.
Yeah.
The Clinton body count. Every president has some great conspiracy. Like
they all
of them.
Look, none of them are clean. They're all have done something. Everybody's got a past.
I mean, let's look at our last 3 presidents. You've got Trump. So Trump, apparently everyone hates Trump and everything's dirty and he's this guy and whatever. He degrades women and he's this business guy. Okay, got it. Then you got, before him, you have Obama. Mm-hmm. Obama in the news, honestly, was portrayed as like God, like from my recollection, but I don't really pay attention to the news, and I really don't know of any bad conspiracies. Oh, besides his birth certificate thing.
His birth certificate thing, his name wasn't from this country.
Right, so there was that.
And I mean, is that, out of all of them that they've come out with all the bad stuff they said, that's probably the least.
Yes.
Like, oh, so you weren't born here. And? Like, that's what you're going to
and then you've got Bush, which, you know, the whole 9/11 thing.
Mr. Einstein himself.
Right. I like Bush though. He's just a good old boy. He's a good old boy.
He was fun to listen to.
Yes, he is.
He was fun to listen to.
He is.
He'd keep it light and comical.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I would like to go to his ranch. And they own the Astros too, so the Bush family does. Houston Astros.
Well,
Oil money.
exactly.
And then before that, you've got Clinton, right? So Clinton, of course, you know, the Lewinsky situation. And before Clinton was what, Reagan? Who was, see, I don't even know.
Clinton?
Hey, who was president before Bill Clinton? Oh, the other Bush, Bush's dad.
It was Bush's senior.
Bush Sr., and before Bush Sr., it was Reagan.
That's what it was.
Okay. All before my time. I was a little kid. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Every single one of them has something dirty on them.
They all do. You don't get to a position of power without having some dirt on you, or without having dirt on other people.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. It's impossible. You can't go into the whole thing at that level and be 100% clean and not have anything on anybody else. It just will not work. It can't. You know, the sooner that everyone accepts that fact, I think a lot better everyone would be about it.
I mean, could you imagine if we had a country where people were honest and there was integrity and they actually did things for the people versus their own personal interests?
Yeah, but then the problem is that they wouldn't make a bunch of money.
Which is all fake and created anyway.
Right, but it goes against everything that they stand for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know what happens, you know? People eventually evolve, thinking evolves, there's new epiphanies, there's new evolutions of everything.
Yeah, but that's why and another factor that I've heard is that's why we are given the freedom we're given. So that way you kind of, we're given all this freedom, so if he's kind of, we still get to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah.
They could come out and tell everyone this is what we've done, but guess what? Now they're telling you what to do. The slippery slope when you kind of look at it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's talk about something else. Politics are stupid, and we only get the headlines. That's the thing. We think we know, but we don't know shit.
No,
we don't know shit.
No.
Above our pay grade, we are not in charge of anything. And listen, these guys are worried about dominating countries.
Yeah. My biggest concern is how to keep my beer cold and get more ammo.
Yeah. Did you bring your ammo by chance?
I didn't bring it, but we can talk about it.
Basically, we can do a whole nother topic on that, but I would love to talk about just, you know, the different grains, the different hardnesses of the metal, why things are cheap, why things are better, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I'm a guy that, hey, I have a gun. I want a gun. You know, nothing really to it besides I want to have one. I want to go shoot. I want to do some skeet shooting. Do I know all the details behind why I need a 350 grain versus a 450 or what? I don't know.
When it comes to that stuff, it all depends on what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So
the right tool for the right job.
Exactly. Now, heavier grain rounds, obviously the bullet itself weighs more.
That's what it is. The grain of the bullet itself.
The grain of the bullet itself, right?
So is it a harder metal?
No, it's just it's heavier. Say like my 45, my pistol. I have 230 grain, I think they're 230 grain full metal jackets. And then I have...
What is a full metal jacket?
What a full metal jacket is, it's a solid round. Opposed to, say, a hollow point that will travel up and then come back down and into pieces.
Okay, so full metal jacket it's a full piece of metal.
Right,
okay.
Exactly. So what happens is those tend to be heavier loads than your hollow points or your Hydra shocks. Now, what'll happen is the reason for that is because a full metal jacket you get a better distance on a full metal jacket because you have a higher grain load.
Yeah.
Right? But depending on what you're doing, say for your house, you want a hollow point, which is going to come out at a higher velocity because it's lighter, but it's not going to travel as far because it's less of a grain.
Right.
It's not as heavy. So my full metal jackets for my 45, I think, are 230 grain, where my hollow points, I think, are 175 or 180 grain. Okay. So what that means is it is going to come out at a higher velocity, but it's not going to go through this person and through a wall and travel to the neighbor's house.
So with the velocity, I've also been reading and learning that you can have subsonic and supersonic.
Yes. Now that's when you start getting into suppressors and all of that goodness.
Well, which is why I've been looking at it, because I want to order. So we're going to do an episode where we actually go out and take a little decibel meter and do some debunking. The only guys that have done this is really the Demolition Ranch, but they've never actually, they didn't show the technicalities of like,
No, they
they just did it. So we're going to take it a little step farther. And by the way, you guys are awesome. Keep blowing shit up.
Yeah, please.
Yes, please.
Love you
and
guys.
you guys are in Texas, Central Texas. I don't know where. A-okay. I would love to go down there, and they do some cool shit.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. So good job. But anyways, the point is, I would love to actually see the difference, like in the sound situation, because it's very difficult to, I guess, portray on the web. You know.
Well, that was one of the big contributing factors to the suppressor movement here in California. Was when you go to the range, you have to have all your gear on, right? Well, if you are allowed to shoot with a suppressor with subsonic rounds, technically it's not that dangerous for your hearing.
Yeah. Which it's much more pleasurable.
Exactly, but I mean, I get why everyone was like, I give you an A for effort, but no, sorry.
Well, they have. I sent you the website link, right? They're now selling, the Maglite cans,
right?
And then so there's two different ones. So I sent you the two website. One from the Preppers website, right? Which was just the can. You just buy it. It sends to you. Then they had the other website, but apparently it is a cleaning device.
Yeah.
I don't know the full technicalities. I asked my buddy Rob in Michigan. He's got his suppressor license and all these things. And apparently it's like a separate license you get that only takes like 10 to 15 days to get stamped.
Yeah.
And you can turn it into a suppressor. So there's a lot of it's a bunch of like
it's
political paperwork crap. I don't even know.
It's pretty much the difference between buying a fully milled out lower receiver for an AR opposed to buying 80% that you have to do some work to.
A technicality.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we all know what it is, but technically when it's an 80% lower, you're buying a paperweight that is in the shape of a lower receiver. You know what I mean?
So my friend Rob said that part of these websites are actually stings.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they are.
So
and I think I sent you a video.
Yeah, the jail time.
Yeah, where the guy was like, "Oh, I ordered this, and now I got a letter in the mail." It's one of those situations where I don't see why.
Listen, we like being fully legal. We love the federal government. I think that you guys do a great job on 90% of things. You got a 10% error rate in there, and maybe, here's the situation. Have you ever heard of any murder case happening where a guy actually came in with a suppressor and knocked him out?
No. Look, first off, this is not the movies where you come in and this thing's a whisper in your ear that you don't hear from the next room. Even a suppressed round.
It makes a noise.
Still makes a good amount of noise. It's not that it's all of a sudden this little...
It sounds more like a nail gun.
Yeah, but there's still a noise there.
Yes.
Where we've watched too many Hollywood movies where we think that I could be sitting 10 feet away from someone, or my favorite is where they're walking in the mall and you have people in a full-blown gunfight with suppressors and nobody knows that this is going on. And they're walking through shooting at each other and no one has any clue. That's not the way that these things work.
Maybe if we don't buy the stuff online, because I don't even want to go down that route and be potentially in trouble.
Yeah,
maybe we can find somebody with a suppressor license that has a few that can come with us. And that would actually be probably the smarter way to do it.
I think that's the genius way of doing it.
Yeah, you'd be like, listen, we got to go up to a sharpshooter. I guarantee one of those guys has it.
I guarantee it. There's no way.
And we could probably even do it at the gun range if we don't need to go out to, I want to go out to the desert, but...
And then it also depends on the caliber that you're shooting.
Caliber and back to your grain thing, like either subsonic, supersonic.
Subsonics are lighter loads.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the suppressed rounds, the ones that you're going to get the best results out of are your smaller calibers. Like that movie No Country for Old Men. I'm sorry, but you are not suppressing a 12 gauge shotgun to where the guy next to you is not going to hear it. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, right? You're not going to do it. Now, if you want to suppress a 22 or a 25 or a 9 or maybe even a 380, okay, I'll buy all that. But once you start getting into, like a 45, a 50, a 308, a 7.62 by 51, or your 7.62 by 39, it's going to make it less than what it is, but it is still going to be a loud experience there. People are still going to hear it.
The decibel meter will tell us.
Yes,
It's going to,
it's-
and that's, I think, I'll plan that out, but we're going to do that.
Right.
We're going to show the actual decibel differences of
And
what
again,
this really
we are
means.
not SEAL Team 6 or the Delta Force that is getting the most amazing
No.
suppressors ever made.
I just think it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, no, they're great. I mean, they're great. A lot of people love hunting with them.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
My friend,
Because you don't scare everything off in the area if a bad shot takes place, or when you do take that animal, you don't have everything go screaming out of the area and not want to come back. So it's, I mean, there are plenty of benefits to it. Plenty of benefits to it. You know, everyone's worried that all of a sudden you're going to come in with this fully automatic and no one's going to hear it and you're going to be able to shoot 100 rounds and it's just going to be a fart in the wind.
And that really comes back to the pissing in the wind part. The people that are so worried about this have never looked at, like, the guys that are committing crimes. They're not committing crimes with this stuff. They're
no.
committing crimes on stupidity nonstop.
None of them are
Not-
are pre-thinking the whole situation.
And I guarantee you, the guy that has gone through the record checks and done all this, if he really wanted to knock someone out, you'd probably never know.
Well, and the other thing is, you're not going to use a high caliber round. You're going to use something smaller where you could shoot the guy in the toe and it's going to come out his ear. And it's just going to bounce around into everything in there.
And that goes back to, I like that term, pissing in the wind, because that's exactly what's going on. Like, everyone's like
all
trying to
it
make
is.
all these rules about this, and this, and because something happened and it has nothing to do,
They've watched too many movies.
They watch too many movies, they know nothing.
Stop watching all these movies and thinking that that's actually really what it is. How about you go out there
And do it
you
yourself.
pick one up and you make the judgment call yourself.
I was going to bring all the hot sauces, but completely fucking missed
Dude,
it.
okay, so just to let you know, I have this one hot sauce at home. It's called Death Nectar.
We're gonna
Okay?
have a hot sauce
A
day.
normal jalapeno scores 1,000 on the Scoville, which is what they rate heat on.
Yeah.
This hot sauce scores 375,000.
So I got an idea for us.
And I use toothpicks where I dip in a toothpick and swirl it into shit. Because otherwise,
Death.
I love hot sauce, dude. I'm telling you right now. My Uncle Reggie one night, he was all bombed at my mom and dad's. And my mom, I don't know if she really knew that this was the hot sauce she was going to give him. She's like, you like hot sauce? Try this. So he puts his hand out there and she puts a quarter size on his hand right here. And he goes for it. Instantly starts hiccuping, and within less than a minute, he's fucking vomiting.
Was it an extract?
Well, it's got ghost pepper and the Carolina Reaper in it. Like I said, your normal jalapeno is 1,000. This is 375,000.
See, the part that kills me with that is why.
Well, it
you
says to
want-
use it with 12 to 15 pounds of shit as a marinade.
So yeah, it's extract.
Yeah, so what I do is I'll take a toothpick and dip it just like a little bit into it. And if I'm making like a bunch of eggs, I'll swirl it into a bunch of eggs and call it a day. And it heats it up. There's not a lot of flavor to it. It's just hot. There's no flavor. It's just hot. And he was vomiting that night from it. And then,
Well, I could, yeah.
Then
You get
told
someone
me-
good and drunk and give them some of that stuff.
Then
Yeah.
he was like, why the fuck would you buy that? And it was my buddy who came back from New Orleans, brought that one because the next step up, he actually had to sign a waiver in order to purchase it. And he was like, yeah, I don't think you need that. And I was like, no. The guy told him that if you put a drop of it on your tongue, it would probably burn a decent
fucking
hole
acid.
in your tongue. They're like, you don't just try this. This is for someone who's making a 10-gallon tub of chili.
Yeah.
And
It's-
you'd put a dollop in there and call it a
it's
day.
it's an extract.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's
So yeah, I know what you mean. There's so we have a level 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right?
Uh-huh.
We do these level 6, normal stuff, 7, and then the 10s are the extract, and that's exactly what this stuff is. It's like, no, it is not for consumption.
no,
it is like for mixing.
It's for
and-
mass production.
yeah.
Like when you're, like I said, well, oh, I got 30 pounds of ribs here. Well, hell, I don't want to buy 10 bottles of hot sauce to spice this up. I'll put a thimble full of this in there and walk away. You know what I mean? Like I've had this bottle for probably over a year, and I think there's only like this much missing out of the top of it.
Well, that's the point. It's literally
This bottle is supposed to last like 10 years.
yeah.
And it's not going to go bad because of the shit that's in it.
So I got an idea for us. We're gonna do we're gonna play a game of beer pong.
Uh-huh.
But it's not gonna be beer pong. Same concept. It's gonna be hot sauce pong.
So if I make one, then you got to take a.
I gotta take a whatever.
That could-
Actually, what we should do,
That could
we
get
should sucker
dirty.
some people into doing that.
Yeah, because that could get
Ugly, really
that could
quick.
get ugly real fast.
So I actually think that's actually no. We're gonna plan that out. I'm gonna get that planned out, and
We gotta
we're
come
gonna
up
get
with a
we're gonna get some
genius name
military
for that.
guys. We're gonna get
Yeah.
some military guys that come out here like we're
Yeah.
gonna play this new game. We'll sell it as a kit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you don't drink? No
Like,
problem.
you
I
could
got
name,
something for you.
could name all of them except for the one in the middle, and that's the mystery one. And it's just,
The extract.
yeah, exactly.
Fucking makes you shit
It could
your
be
pants.
absolutely nothing. It could be ketchup, or it could be your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Hey, can you show me the snake?
So YouTube, this is perfect. Southern California, 3 snakes: gopher snakes, king snakes, rattlesnakes.
How big is it?
I have never seen a snake here in 30 years I've lived here ever. But is the camera facing the right way? He's probably about 6 feet tall. I mean,
Oh,
Just get really close to it. See what it is.
yeah.
Poke him with your finger.
All right, I'll be over there in a little while. Almost 6 feet long. That's a decent sized snake.
How the f did I get in that? You know what? It was probably looking for the pool water.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. Well, he's got a pond next door with a bunch of koi fish in it. So
Will a snake eat fish like that? Will it?
if they go in the water, not all snakes will mess in the water, but it might have been looking for water
Yeah. Well, when
or
it gets hot,
shade.
right? Hot.
And like the back of my parents' house is all of, you know what I mean, that area, but there's no shade back there. There's
No,
nothing
well,
back there.
That snake figured out where the shade was, right behind that flower pot.
I'd take a shovel right to that fucker's head.
Well, if it's a gopher or king, you want to keep them, man. They get rid of the rattlers. That's what I've been reading, is that basically those snakes will kill rattlesnakes, or
but
they're
that's-
competing for food.
That's the first time we've ever seen a snake back there. My
30
parents have
20
lived,
years?
My parents have lived back there since '99.
Yeah, okay. 21
No,
years.
so 21 years. I've never ever seen a snake back there, ever. That's, you know what I mean. Now, I bet you what it is. It's all that fucking construction going on up there. They're pushing everything down.
Oh, absolutely.
Guaranteed.
Absolutely.
They're pushing everything out of the area.
Drop their habitat.
Yeah.
That's going to be a shit show, too, when that's all that done.
Oh, no part of that's gonna be good.
Nah, well, real estate prices will go up.
Up there,
No, that whole area, because now when you want to buy into something, like for instance, the gardens where you are, it's best for you.
yeah.
Because everything up there is going to be $750 to move in. So now you've got
yeah.
all this stuff that's equivalent, but a few years older, so it's going to be. So
Yeah.
you're going to. I guarantee your place is going to be $650 in the next few years.
That'd be sweet.
I hate the news.
I don't like it.
I hate the news.
I can't stand watching it because it's just a bunch of shit that.
Honestly, it's like watching it on repeat over
Yeah.
and over and over and over. It's like, listen, give me the headline, tell me what happened, move on to the next thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a 15-minute segment and then move on to the next
But at
thing.
least don't try and feed me into the fire with it. Just tell me what it is and walk away.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what we need to get? We need to get the sign language person next to us.
They make every time I watch it, I'm like, they make the greatest faces ever, and I don't understand if that has anything to do with the sign language or if that is just because they're moving so much that they don't know what to do with their face. I would like to know. I'm
That's
very
a new
ignorant.
thing.
I'm very ignorant on the topic. I don't know, but good grief, some of the because like he's talking about something real serious and she's just and you're like, well, wait a minute here. Like, are you really telling them what's going on? Because what your face and his face are not the same.
No, exactly.
Like, so I don't know.
Which, by the way, when I was a kid or even younger, I never ever saw the sign language thing situation happening. This is a new, like in the next, I mean, maybe it's a California thing and I don't watch the news, so I don't know.
I don't know if it's out of state too. I have no idea. Speaking of stupid shit new, you hear what's going on in Washington, in Seattle?
No.
Fucking Antifa.
Oh, really?
They got like a 6-block area that they've taken over the Seattle Police Department station. They've taken over, I think, City Hall. You're not.
This is happening right now?
Currently, right now, you're not allowed to use money in this area. No money is allowed. There's people walking around with guns and shit right now.
So wait, isn't Antifa the anti-gun, like...
They're anti-fascist, anti-fascism. So they dress
But
up
that-
in masks and sticks. They use fascism to, I don't,
So I've heard a lot of this rumor stuff with this
Yeah.
George Soros guy that he funds them.
yeah,
I don't even know. All I see is the headlines, right? I'm like,
I don't,
okay.
all I know is that they've taken over like 6 or 7 square blocks in Seattle they've taken over. Instead of, it says the city of, what did the sign say? Instead of City of Seattle Police Department, it says City of People Police Department. They spray painted over the thing.
Listen, I'm all about the city of people. I get it, but I guess I have to learn more about what these guys are.
YouTube it.
Okay.
They're
So stupid shit than you.
They're
All right,
going
so
strong.
Antifa's going strong,
in
huh?
Seattle. Yeah, they're going strong. I also found out, which I'm all on board with, Seattle is called a mutual combat state. So what that means is, say you and I stumble outside of the bar and there's a cop out there and I want to fight you and you want to fight me. And I go, you want to fight? And you go, yeah, you want to fight? And I go, yeah.
It's like a duel.
Yeah, the cop can't fucking break it up.
No shit.
Gonna referee it pretty much.
Really?
There was an actual pro MMA fighter who would dress up like a supervillain and walk around, and these drunk asshole sits there and tries messing with them and says all this shit to him, and a cop comes up and, you want to fight? Yeah. And you want to fight? Yeah. Well, you guys do what you gotta do. This is mutual combat state. And this superhero starts throwing leg kicks, and this guy has no idea what to do. He takes him and just like, what the fuck?
What?
Yeah,
Hey!
like, wait a minute, you're dressed like an idiot, you shouldn't know how to do that. He starts bouncing around and you're like, oh, it's not gonna end good. Oh yeah, no, it's glorious.
So really, so I can just enter into a fight legally by with the other person saying yes.
Legally, as long as he says yes and you say yes, get it on.
That's fucking brilliant.
I love it. Look, that's two consulting adults there. And when you're good with this, yeah, I'm good with this too. All right, let's get after it. I bet you that this country would be a whole different place if everybody in the country said that.
You want to settle your differences? Let's do it.
Do it. As long as you guys are both cool with it, then get after it.
Men have been solving their problems with beating the shit out of each other for
yeah, but
for
there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't want to do this though because, you know, the cops are around. And then you get a lot of loudmouths who can't fight who are like, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and start a bunch of shit and be real loud about it. And hopefully someone will come in and stop it.
I mean, you notice the guys that don't fight, or the guys, or sorry, let me put it this way. The guys that you don't want to mess with are the guys that don't say shit.
Well, yeah, but
Because you know that guy knows, like, listen, if you put me to this level, I'm going to, let's go.
it's just one of those things, though, where you're hoping that, for those who don't know what they're doing, you're hoping that if you get loud enough and get enough people around you, that someone's going to come stop it before all hell breaks loose.
Well, that's the goal. That's what that guy's thinking.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But it's just, it's funny because I remember I bounced for almost 6 years, and it ended up like I would just tell people like, look, I don't want to fight, like, you'll just beat me up, okay, please just leave me alone. And that would almost enrage them even more than me trying to get into an actual confrontation with them. Like, look, I don't know what I'm doing, just please, just keep it down, you know what I mean? Oh, well then fuck you. And then it, like, okay, and then I'm choking this guy, whatever. You know what I mean? But it was one of those things where that started more than me being extreme. If I got real loud and confrontational, they would back off. But it was when I went on the opposite side of it.
Oh, this guy's a pussy.
Yeah, to where then it just provoked them even more.
Liquid courage?
Yes.
Yeah, well.
I mean, it's whatever. There were certain bets that me and the other bouncers took with each other. Like,
Let me ask you this question. If right now you ran across anyone that you worked with, would you know who they were? Or do you think that there's a chance that, I don't remember him?
no, I know who they are.
Okay.
You spend a lot of nights and hours and you're the only sober people. So you have no one else to talk to because everyone else is bombed, right? So you're just kind of sitting there, and your patience is good from like 8:30, 9 o'clock till about 11:30. Once midnight strikes, my patience goes out the window. After 2 o'clock in the morning, between 2 and 3, it's negative, dude. You got a split second before I throw you, please. Like, I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to be nice. You need to go now. You don't have to go home. Just get the f*** out of here.
That's the line, right? You don't got to go home, but get the f*** out of here.
Those were fun times.
Yeah, you got any good stories about your wife?
Not lately, except the fact that I messed up. I guess she ordered a Father's Day gift, and it was an Amazon package. Well,
So you opened it?
Well, yeah.
Oops. Did you try to repackage it?
No, all of a sudden I called her and I'm like, so did you order this? And she's like, yeah, why'd you open it? I'm like, well, it was Amazon.
To my house.
Why wouldn't I open it? You know what I mean? And we were expecting a bunch of shit. So it was like, well, I thought it was something I didn't know, and I'm like, you didn't tell me don't open any packages that show up, right? So naturally, I opened it.
Package comes to my house, I'm opening it.
Yeah.
So how'd that go for you?
She got all pissed off for a night, and then afterwards, everything was fine. I don't know.
It seems like you're a little bit distraught there. Like,
Well, it was just like, I had to just like, okay, I understand what you're saying. But internally, I'm like, there's a box that shows up to the house. We've been expecting shit, so I'm going to open it, irregardless of whose name it's under. Especially when you tell me, hey, go check the mail. We're expecting packages. I go out there. I see a package. Well, guess what?
I'm expecting it.
So I opened it. Well, what is this? And so then I call her, and then she's like, why'd you open that?
Oh,
God.
she was trying to surprise you. That's cute.
No, and I had to, like, I get that. And it was very much appreciated. But it was still one of those things where it's a lose-lose situation. So, yeah.
Well, I got a good one for you. So the last time we recorded this thing, right, we're with Brandon, and Brandon's talking about the strip clubs.
Yeah.
Right. So apparently, mother-in-law was sitting in the cabin.
Yeah, she left.
Oh yeah. Well, let me quickly tell you how this quickly broke down into me getting. Let me show you this. So we talk about the strip clubs, and of course, I mentioned the one strip club of like in Niagara Falls. This strip club was amazing because of A, B, and C. Somehow that construed into Pete's going to strip clubs in Visalia, which I get a text message. It's like, Pete, you fucking asshole mother, beep 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 beep, and you're going to strip club. Is this when you're going on your hiking trips? Is it? I'm like, what are you talking about, woman? And she's going off the deep end about this, and I'm going like, what is? I'm just so lost.
But
I'm
this
like,
is what I don't understand. Like, they're fine with you go. Like, I don't even want to talk about this because it's gonna fuck up a bunch of things for a bunch of dudes. Okay. What I'm getting at here.
well, a good thing our audience is 80% male.
What I'm getting at here is it's safer to go to a strip club than it is going to a bar.
Yes, absolutely.
As far as you doing stupid shit with, you know what I mean?
1,000,000%, because all these women are off limits anyway. It's like,
That's
it's,
my
it's
whole
like,
point,
It's like, listen, I can look and I can touch, and that's about it.
If you're lucky, if you pay enough. But
Yeah,
that
if
is
you pay
that
enough.
is a very fine line that you're walking there, right? So like I said, I don't really want to delve too far into this because I don't want.
Let's just put it this way. I got in trouble for something of like, and on top of that, the worst part is it happened when I was like 19.
You didn't, but it doesn't
19.
matter. Doesn't matter.
I know. Women don't forget.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
the problem. They do not forget.
You
They
did what with who?
20 years ago. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
before I even knew you were alive. Doesn't matter.
You're in trouble.
My bad.
Listen, we're gonna get like a therapist. You know, I'm gonna get Dr. Laura on here.
That'll be interesting.
We're gonna interview Dr. Laura. Dr. Laura, please explain to me why women are so against strip clubs. Help me understand the psychology of why a female is so upset. We'll get there. But anyways, so I got in trouble with that. You know, it was really funny yesterday when I was doing the whole like little GoFundMe on that friggin' M49A battle tank
Yeah, that
Land
thing's
Cruiser.
awesome.
Up here in the right-hand corner is a picture of this thing. I found it on
Amazing.
Craigslist. It is a 1992 military 6x6 with giant expandables that some guy turned into an overland camper. And I just saw it because I've been looking for an RV. I'm like, oh, I want it. I want it.
Yeah,
and then
that
I was
thing's amazing.
just being silly, and I put a GoFundMe up there to say like, hey, maybe someone will fund us, and me and you will just go into the backwoods
Yeah.
and see if we can get it stuck.
I don't know that you're getting that thing stuck. I was really looking at it.
That thing is 5 tons with 6 wheels and 6x6 drive.
Yeah, you're not. If you get stuck, you've done something horribly wrong.
Yeah.
You drove it into a lake or something.
Probably will go through the lake.
That's
Probably
you know what
floats.
I mean, like 30 feet deep or something. Other than that, you're not getting that thing stuck.
But the point is, so I sent her thinking like, oh, she's gonna go like, ah, you fucking guys. She's like, dude, I want it.
Yeah,
I was like, hey,
yeah,
that's awesome.
that thing's legit.
That is awesome. So we'll see if we can pull that off. But listen, here's the picture of it. It should be right in between my hands. It is badass. I'll even send you the link. It'll be down here to the GoFundMe. If you guys want to GoFund us,
By all
I'm pretty
means,
sure.
please.
Listen, if we can even come up with 25,000, the guy might take it because these things, I looked at them. They're anywhere from $5,000 with probably a bunch of work to do to X amount.
Yeah, he's done some definite work to it. I mean, it's,
well, apparently that model is a standard model.
yeah, it is.
I didn't
It
know
is.
that
No,
they had
that's a
that.
standard model that he just did a bunch of upgrades to make the expandables and all of that.
Well, no, the expandable's a standard model.
Oh, that comes with it
Yes.
standard.
That's what I
Oh,
thought at
so,
first too. That
well,
was like built on.
Then I think we're golden.
Yeah, all he did was really put in the sink and the air conditioner. So
It's not a bad addition.
No, dude, you're in the desert.
I
and
mean,
you want
I'm
an air
fine without the
conditioner.
sink, but as long as it's got the AC in there,
The only thing it doesn't have is a shitter.
I'll go outside.
But that's for guys. But
Yeah.
then you can't take your wife and kids and like I get it, it's a guy's vehicle. It's
Well, you
totally
can figure
man
it out.
vehicle.
You want to come with us? You gotta go outside. Otherwise, you're staying at home.
I'll get you one of those portable toilets.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I can haul a porta potty
Yeah.
for you.
I'll get you a bucket with one of them little love seats on it. Here you go.
No, but that thing was badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, right here. Here it is again.
That thing's awesome.
We want one. Anyways, we'll get one. Listen, we're gonna come back to the hot sauce thing.
Yeah.
We got some cool stuff coming that way. Normally we go into knives and guns. I don't think we're giving anything away because none of you fuckers are texting us. So I only have like 9 texts from people.
Yeah.
So I mean we're serious.
Figure
right
it out,
now,
people.
$50 Home Depot gift card plus a Gerber knife, any one you want. That's the giveaway. Once we get to 1,000 texts, we're gonna do a little random drawing, and boom, someone's getting it. So I'm very serious about it. Sold and done.